Good morning, everybody. Joel here again. I'll admit I had a hard time deciding what to do this morning. None of the devotions that I have access to currently were really speaking to me today. So I decided I was just going to read from Proverbs. And that's one thing that I found has been useful at different times in my life. Proverbs is 31 chapters long, and if you read one chapter of Proverbs every day, you can get through it in a month, there or thereabouts. Most months, because most months you've got either 31 or 30 days, except for February, obviously. But you just read a couple extra chapters in February and you're good. And you can get through you can get through Proverbs 12 times a year if you do it that way. Just read, look at the calendar and say, hey, it's the 9th today. I'm going to read chapter 9. And that's what I'm going to do. It's talking about wisdom today. And wisdom is something that I have been sorely needing lately. I've never had a problem gaining knowledge. I like to study random things. I have a head for random useless knowledge, random useless trivia, particularly technology related stuff. Trying to find the application of that, which is knowledge is just the accumulation of information. Wisdom is the application of information. At least that's one definition of it. But the Bible has another definition of it. Wisdom is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's what chapter 9 is talking about. And Proverbs in general is just full of wisdom. And if you have no idea where to start with your Bible reading, Proverbs is always a good place to start. Read the chapter that corresponds with the day, get through the whole thing in a month, and start it over again, and then start applying those Proverbs to your life, and you will be in a much better place spiritually than when you started if you keep doing that. So let's read from Proverbs. Proverbs 9, the way of wisdom. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her beasts. She has mixed her wine. She has also set her table. She has sent out her young women to call from the highest places in the town. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. To him who lacks sense, she says, come eat of my bread and drink of the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways and live and walk in the way of insight. Whoever corrects a scoffer gets himself abuse, and he who reproves a wicked man incurs injury. Do not reprove a scoffer, or he will hate you. Reprove a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be wiser still. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is insight. For by me your days will be multiplied, and years will be added to your life. If you are wise for yourself. If you scoff, you alone will bear it. In the second half of chapter 9, or the second part of chapter 9, talks about folly, or the way of folly. The woman folly is loud. She is seductive and knows nothing. She sits at the door of her house. She takes a seat on the highest places of the town, calling to those who pass by, who are going straight on their way. Whoever is simple, let him turn in here. And to him who lacks sense, she says, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of Sheol. Boy, a lot of the more common, more visible problems in this world could be described probably in very vague general terms as the difference between wisdom and folly. To take a very, very basic, somewhat applicable example, wisdom would be trying to better yourself, trying to keep your body in good shape, trying to eat healthy. And you should eat healthy. You shouldn't have that second cheeseburger or that third cheeseburger or fourth cheeseburger. I've been eating a lot of cheeseburgers lately. Folly, when you fall to folly, you're like, oh, it's okay. I don't really need to restrain myself. I don't need to hold back. I'm already really fat anyway, fat and lazy. I don't give a crap anymore. And then you end up sick and end up dying. And that's kind of where I'm at lately. Not the sick and dying part, but I'm struggling with my habits of overeating and not being able to get myself motivated to exercise. It's something that I'm working on, and with God's help, I will eventually, hopefully sooner than later, overcome some of those habits. And it's, again, wisdom in my estimation, in my definition, is the application of knowledge. It's the insight to use the knowledge that you have. Because you can have all the head knowledge that you want. It doesn't take much to get head knowledge. It just takes a little bit of learning, and you've got a whole bunch of head knowledge. But if you don't know how to use that, I mean, that's the difference between a college graduate and someone who's been working in an industry for 10 years. Someone who's been in a college for 8 years is not going to have nearly the business sense of somebody who's been actually using what knowledge they have in an industry for 10 years. It's the application of knowledge. So what we need to do is we need to not only seek knowledge, we need to seek for wisdom. And wisdom can come from a lot of different places. I pray for wisdom from God every day, how to apply this knowledge that I'm getting from the devotionals, from the Bible reading that I'm doing, trying to apply that to my lives. That is wisdom. The fear of the Lord, the fear, and when I say fear, I don't mean like, oh, I'm so afraid, although that's kind of part of it. It's respect. Fear is a form of respect. And if you fear God, you will respect his commands and know that if you obey his commands, you will be on the correct path. And if you disobey those commands, you will end up hurting yourself down the line. So the more the wisdom of the Bible, the wisdom from God is knowing how to apply the stuff that's in the Bible to your own life and make your life more agreeable, more like Jesus. And in doing so, your life will improve. And it will. It's not just a theory. It's been proven time and time again. If you follow the commands in the Bible, you will have more peace, more personal peace in your life. I can guarantee it, just from an anecdotal perspective, I suppose, in my own life, when I follow the Bible, when I am walking in line with God's wisdom, with God's plan, my life is so much more peaceful, so much more, I don't even know the words, but your life is more ordered, and things don't seem to go, well, I can't even say that they don't go haywire, because they still do. I have 5 kids. Things go haywire all the time, but I can deal with it much, much easier if my head is in line with God and aligned with God's plan for my life. even if I don't know precisely what that plan is, it is, I'm able to maintain my sanity much easier when I am in line with God and following his plan and seeking his wisdom. So I hope that encourages you to seek after God's wisdom. It's sort of a nebulous concept, wisdom. It's the application of knowledge. So how do you find that? Well, to start with, just pray. Just pray for wisdom. Pray that God will take that knowledge that's in your head, that if you're reading a certain passage, meditate on that passage, see how you can apply it to your life, and then do that. Go walk forward and use whatever passage that you've gotten that application from in your life. And then go on to the next one and keep repeating that cycle of obtaining knowledge, asking for wisdom, applying that wisdom, and then going forward and repeating that cycle. Hopefully that helps you. That was a little bit more rambly than usual, so hopefully that helped somebody. Wisdom's kind of a nebulous concept for me, but it is so important to have that application of biblical principles in your day-to-day life. So I hope that you seek that as well. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.